So, I'm gonna hold the camera this way for a little bit. I'll turn around on my face eventually, but I realized I still have the shirt on that says the name of the organization that I work for, and just for legal reasons, I'm not gonna put that in my videos. And I put all the rest of the stuff in my car. So we'll just walk and look at some beautiful scenery while we talk. So this week we are done with our first week, and I want every single one of those kids back. Like, I feel like I'm expected to say that, but it's true. What was really cool about being lead staff instead of cabin counselor is that I got to make relationships with so many more kids. Oh, look at the cute little bunny. I don't think you can see it over there. It's real tiny. But I got to develop relationships with so many more kids than I thought I would, because I got to float around so much. And of course, the kids that were the hardest at the beginning to figure out and to get to know and to not even make sure we could work with, but just try to understand what they needed from us. Those kids ended up being the ones that I am so sure that I will never forget. So I hope they come back for a session somewhere along the way. Sorry, don't mind me fumbling around with the camera right now. So I'm just gonna, it's gonna look stupid, but I'm just gonna stand like this with my hands over my shirt. Don't make fun of me. So overall, really great week. I'm a lot less emotionally drained than I was expecting, honestly. I'm really tired, but that's just because I haven't been getting to sleep very early, and I've been waking up kind of early. Because I've been trying to make sure that I'm helping people where they need it, and also it's just nice to have a little while to have adult conversation during the day without kids everywhere. I didn't readjust my hands. But it was a really, really cool week. What if I just like scrunch it up? There we go. I'm just gonna scrunch it like that. I only need one hand. I know, I look so silly. What was I saying? So we had our hardest camper this week was an older boy, and he was just having a real tough time. He was, the first night he was here, he actually walked around camp throwing rocks at the 3 counselors that were with him, trying to flip picnic tables, swearing, yelling, and by last night, actually, I was sitting out on a picnic table, and he was out walking, because that's just kind of what he did at night. It was easier for him to sleep if the counselors got him out of the cabin and just had him go for a walk. So he was out walking, and he came over, and I was sitting down, and he came over and he started talking to me, and we asked him, what was your favorite part about camp? And he goes, probably the games. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. And honestly, it was a super cool answer, because he didn't really want to participate in a lot of stuff. So to know that he still enjoyed it, and the stuff that we did get him to participate in, he had fun doing, that really melts your heart. And then when you asked him, what are you going to miss most about camp? He says, the counselors. And I think that just speaks volumes to how our staff have done working with our kids. If the thing you miss most about camp is the people, I think we've done our job right. And that just made me so happy. There were a couple instances where I got kind of frustrated with staff just because I felt they were being negligent and that they weren't doing everything they needed to be doing to make sure the kids were safe and healthy and happy. But nobody's a perfect person, and we all have room to improve. So we had a staff meeting today. We talked about those things. We had a couple incidents on the high ropes course where people were super confident and wanted to go up there, and then they got up there and they froze. We only had to do one rescue, but because we were spending so much time with certain kids up in high ropes, other kids weren't able to go. And I think I talked about this last time I recorded. If I didn't talk about it, I know I wrote it down in my journals, but I felt really bad because these kids were so excited to go on high ropes, and then the second person that goes up gets stuck, and we can't get them down to come down for the entire workshop. And so a bunch of our kids just don't get to go up because we only have one zip line, and we can't have kids going up on the zip line if we can't get a kid off. And obviously we can't just like pick them up and move them. If they're sitting somewhere and they're refusing to move, we have to kind of wait it out until we can talk them into moving. And so that really stunk for some of our kids, but they handled it so well and so much more maturely than I was expecting. They were supportive of each other. They were patient and understanding when they didn't get to go up. I don't think I had any kids get mad that they didn't get to go up. I had one little girl cry because she was disappointed, but she wasn't mad. She was just, in 3rd grade and really disappointed that she wanted to do this thing and she didn't get to do it. But that was the only, obviously that was the only workshop that I worked this week because of our ratios and where we assign people. So next week I think I'm doing kayaking, possibly. Otherwise I'm just floating around and making sure everybody has the support that they need, which honestly, I really like the floating role. I like to be able to just hear a chaotic cabin and run over there. I'm jumping around a lot right now, but speaking of chaotic cabins, last night we had a cabin that it was 10:40 at night, and they were still super rowdy. And I walked in there, and their counselor was sitting on the bed, putting on her shoes, and the girls were talking about going for a night hike, and I was like, you're not going, ladies, we can't go for a night hike. It's past lights out. And they were so mad at me because I was the one who came in and told them that they were not allowed to do the thing that they wanted to do. So I sat in there with them for a little while. I let the counselor go take a break because she just looked exhausted. And we sat in there, and they got mad at me, and we sat there, and we talked, and they yelled at me. It was great. I love it. It's awful, but I love situations like that where you kind of just remain calm and you let the kids get out what they need to get out. They yell at you and you just take it and you just try to be the, sorry, there's a fly. You try to just be the stability that they need at that moment when they're angry. And then once because you want to try to calm them down on your own first and see if maybe you can work things out. But once I realized that that wasn't working and they weren't going to get calm for me, I had our program coordinator come over, who is a sweet girl. She's so good at what she does, and she's so good with kids. So I called her over, and I swapped out with her, hoping maybe they would continue to just be mad at me because I was the one that told them they couldn't go, and maybe she would be able to calm them down. So she worked with them for a really long time. She actually got them to start listing off the things that they didn't like about camp so that she could fix them, which I think they gave us honestly a lot of really good criticism that we can work with, because it's really nice to know what the kids think. So she did that, but we realized that there were 2 girls that just kept feeding off each other. So I went in and I pulled one of them out, and the minute I got her out of that cabin, her entire persona shifted. She went from yelling at me and being mad at me and telling me how much she wanted to punch somebody to sitting there and saying, well, we were just really frustrated because we wanted to go for a night hike, and you came in there and you told us we couldn't. And so her entire persona just changed. And we actually had a really nice conversation. We sat out there until heard the cabin get quiet, and then I went back in and we laid down, and our program coordinator told them a story, and they were out, man. It was great. I love it. I love it so much. This is an awesome job. If I could stay at camp forever, year round, I totally would. Although I kind of miss my family a little bit, so like maybe have weekends off like I do now. That'd be great. Yeah, it was a really awesome first week. We've definitely got some stuff we need to improve on that we've noted and that we're talking about in staff meetings, but we also have some things that we did really well. So I'm really happy with it. And I'll let you know how next week goes.